oh, why do I have another sad face? Like I did it. Like she emailed me the other day, I know she copied you guys on about the program and not giving me credits and whatever. Like we sorted that one out because like she told me why, and then I explained to her like what actually happened, and then it was fine.
But what I'm wondering is February is still up there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what month are we going to?
May.
Yes, so that's 2 months. Yes, Sean, bulletin board by your words says that a 5th grader can do better, but is it this month's bulletin board?
I honestly don't know, but that's the one which involves me having a key.
Okay, and where do you get the key?
I don't know. No one knows where that key is.
But how are we, like, without you coming to us and asking us, like, where do I get this key? Like, I'm looking at that. This is an example. I'm looking at that and I'm going, Jane's just not doing this because she doesn't want to do it. I'm not saying Jane's not doing this because she doesn't have a key. And I'm pretty sure, do all of them have to have a key?
No, they all like open.
Yeah, okay. Just one is with the key. So
how did you get the key before?
I got like a big chunk.
The mod keys.
From, I don't know where, I don't know what that is.
Okay.
And
so you couldn't get that last month?
No, and also like,
so wait, you couldn't get it for March? No, I'm asking, could you get it for March?
Yeah, I could have, but the thing is like no one knows where the key is. And when I go down, often when I do it is at night, say, and there's like all the residents sit at that one. And before I like asked them like, oh, do you mind like moving out the way? And then they'll be like, okay. So the last like say 2 months for that specific one, there's like residents all parked over there, and so I just like did the other ones. And I know, it's still like the March one, but it's like, but no one's like actually specifically come and like told me. And in my head, I'm like, oh, that's the one with the key. And then like I'm doing the other ones, I don't think about it. So, but in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm changing these like bulletin boards, and I don't think, oh, that's still February. I'm like, oh, I need to go get the key, and then like I go, it's locked, and by the time like I'm done with that, it like slips my mind. But it's nothing that, like my point is that it's nothing that's like being brought up to me. So how am I supposed to know?
And that's something where I can take responsibility for it. That's my fault that I haven't sat down with you and said, why aren't you doing your staff task?
Yeah. And
I will take full responsibility for that.
I'm honestly like not trying to blame you, trying to blame Emery.
But see, that's the thing. When you, and I'm not, this isn't it might sound defensiveness, but it's not a defensiveness at all. If you come up with like excuses to why a job's not getting done, it only then turns into blaming other people. And right now you're saying you're not trying to blame me, but it is putting the blame on me. But I'm taking the blame because it is, if that's the reasons why, because you never were sat down and talked to about it, then I'll take the blame. But what we're trying to get across is by taking the accountability and the responsibility of that job, sometimes that means you have to ask the questions. Sometimes that means you have to take a little extra time and do it at a time where there's not people in the study lounge during the day or in the morning.
I understand that. Like I don't have to do it at night. Like I should do it in the day when there aren't people there.
But that's kind of like, this is a good example because it is, if you feel like I wasn't doing my job by coming to you and sitting down with you and telling you, hey, why aren't you doing this? Then I'll take that and I'll hopefully learn from it, and I won't have an issue, and we won't have an issue with it again. But when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking in my head, Jane knows better. She'll do the next month. Or Jane knows better, like, why isn't it getting done? And to be honest, I didn't notice it wasn't getting done until Emery asked me who's been catching up with their staff tasks. And so that's on me. And that's part of the job. You are in charge of these RAs, and if they're not doing the job, that's your fault. So it is my fault that you aren't doing your job. That's not a question, that's a statement.
But in turn, as my supervisor for Erica, I don't accept that
Yeah.
at all, because I know that is not solely her job. And I would do the same thing if Erica messed up. I would do something, but then it would be Dave telling me, no, that's not solely your job. So yes, I do think that Erica should have checked up on it. However, she didn't. But it was your staff task. You knew it was your staff task. You knew you couldn't get there at nights. You knew you needed a key. So in order to get a key, you needed someone who had access to the key, which the RDs also do have that access and are at your disposal 24/7. So there really, in my mind, is not a reason why it shouldn't have gotten done. So, and you as someone who has respect for Erica, if Erica comes, if that happens, I would be like, no, you're not taking that responsibility at all. Like that was me. I didn't do my job. And that's one thing that we're talking about, is you're not accepting people's failures and you're not letting people fall for you. They will argue in my office over whose responsibility it was. Even if they had a sliver of a knowledge of what was supposed to get done, they will argue over, no, I should have did it. I should have, even if it wasn't even their building. But that's what we're trying to pinpoint on some of this, is that it's having responsibility for your actions. And you're in this position because you normally don't need told. You do things on your own. We saw that potential from you, and we need you to move forward towards that RD position. And that's why we're taking this time to educate you guys and start early with this training, is because we want to capitalize on the strengths that you have and just continue to build them up. But we need to see that building process.
Yeah, and also just like kind of with any situation, but like saying, oh, okay, Sean's bulletin boards may not be up to par, but Sean also didn't get hired to be an RD. Like, you need to go above and beyond what the other RAs are doing.
And you also don't know what, if, say, Shane has talked to Sean about his bulletin board, or if there has been reprimations.
Yes, reprimanded.
Reprimanded for his actions. And that's when you can't jump to conclusions. You can't jump to, oh, he's not doing his job, so why should I do my job?
No, I was just going off, like, mostly going off what McKinley said. Like, if it's more direct, like, hey, listen, this is what you're doing wrong, or that, like, you should probably do it this way, kind of a thing, then at least, like, we kind of like know what exactly what you're meaning.
And sometimes that's
I'm not saying that we like
something-
have to be spoon fed. That like
No, but I mean, sometimes being told what you're doing wrong, I mean, to be honest, I could do a list right now of what every RA is doing wrong. I'm sure Anna could do a list of what I'm doing wrong. There's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
And so it's not so much of telling you guys what you're doing wrong, it's more of if we're talking about something and something in your mind is being highlighted, then use that. If I'm saying hold yourself accountable, don't have us hold your hand, be responsible, set your priorities straight, I'm sure things are popping in your head that you're going, oh, I could do that with this situation. Then use that. I don't think we have to tell you exactly, because personally, I don't know exactly what you feel like you need to be doing better or what you feel like you need to be doing worse. If your staff task, yeah, that is something you need to be doing better, but I'm sure it was something that popped in your head.
Yeah.
Especially with this going to the RD job, all of it, there's so many things that you are completely responsible for, and people won't even, like, if we didn't have efficient building meetings, she would never really know. If we didn't have like at all, like the agenda mapped out or anything, like she wouldn't really know. It's things that you have to pay attention to and you are responsible for. And you are responsible for planning out all the things you have to do and getting them done. We don't necessarily see everything. but we could see the aftermath of like, oh, it's just like the whole team's not running efficiently. But it's up to you guys to be able to pinpoint it because we don't know everything that's going on in everybody's life.
It's what a commitment.
Yeah.
And Sean's strength might not be his bulletin board. And as an RD, you know that some team members, their strength isn't going to be one thing and their strength will be another thing, like Erica said. And maybe Sean's strength is not his bulletin board, but that's his best that he can do. And if his creative skills are classified as a 5-year-old, then okay, I know there's some there's some art in museums that I could probably splatter paint as well. But his strengths are other places, and you just have to find those strengths in your RAs, and you're complementing those and helping them improve on the others. Because if I would always say to them, Erica, you're not doing this, Greg, you're not doing this, Shane, you're not doing this, Erica, you're not doing this, Juliet, how do you think their self-esteem would be? I take the most important things that we need to work on and I need to educate them on, and we touch on those. There's some things that, okay, maybe I wouldn't have done it that way, but it got there, it worked. Maybe it didn't get there as soon as we wanted to, or whatever, but we'll touch on things that we need to. I'm gonna compliment them more on other things so that they grow from that and they build from that. If we're going away from our original meeting plan, I mean, you guys should already know by now, I am very, very organized and very structured, and I have a plan layout and I like to stick to it. So if we are getting away from original plan, it must be important enough for us to discuss as a whole.
And you, like,